Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs and Fuego, where entrepreneurs come together to what? To have fun, to talk about their businesses, to talk about their experiences, to collaborate. And with me today, I have the honor to have the one and only SPIDERMAN. You are SPIDERMAN, and people will not believe that, but that's who you are. Mike Kristansen.
Yeah, that's
AKA
it.
SPIDERMAN.
It's much easier to say Spider-Man and be remembered than Mike, that is for sure.
Why SPIDERMAN? Why? How did you get that nickname, Mike?
It came about through alliances. One of the members there is tasked with the thing of giving people nicknames.
Yes.
And mine was Spider-Man for spidering the web. So I'm on the web all the time doing research and looking for ways to help businesses.
And that's an amazing thing that you do, because you have some concepts that, for me, to be honest with you, they were very foreign to me. Like syndication, what is the other one?
Curating.
Curating.
Yeah.
Explain to us what the heck does that mean, and how you can take a LinkedIn post, for instance, and make it explode from maybe 100 views to 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000. This is an amazing thing that he does. And I didn't know that you could do that. How do you do that?
Probably a good example, to tell you my example, would be I came across an article one time that was about elevator speeches, which are usually about 60 seconds long, and decided I'll write about that. And it had been published in the Phoenix Business Journal. And so I take an excerpt from the article itself, maybe a photo, or I'll match something up there. Then I'll write an oversight piece of why I'm sharing it, what I think about elevator speeches and how that relates to other things. Then I syndicate it.
What does that mean?
It means you post it in one place and it shows up in 50 other LinkedIn groups. It shows up in Facebook groups with just one post. So I use some auto-posting software that will do it.
So you don't have to post it 50 times. You have to post it only once, and
Yes.
automatically through your software, then it just explodes.
Explodes. So if you're reaching 400,000 people like this article did,
Jeez.
the first day there were 400 visitors. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but
it is a lot.
what that does for a person's website is people just don't read the article. They start looking across your site. They'll read 6 or 7 of your pages. So on that particular post, it was about 2,400 page views. And the time people spend on your site is far longer. And what that does is it drops what's called a bounce rate. And Google and search, they're always looking at the bounce rate. Even if you make the first page of Google, if your title and your description doesn't really jive, you're not going to be on there very long. But you could be the 7th or 8th position, and you start to climb up because people are clicking on you and they're staying with you because you are providing the solution. You do have the answer people are looking for. So Google rewards you by raising you up. All of that helps.
Explain to me what the bounce rate means again. So the bounce rate is the amount of time that a visitor stays on your site.
That's exactly right.
And then what you want to have is a low bounce rate?
Right.
So that people stay. That means that people are staying longer on your site.
I didn't believe in curation at first, but I stripped a site of about 300 original articles and started curating all curated articles. So I'm taking high traffic articles that have already proven to be shareable. They're already being shared. And then I'm writing about them. And then I'm syndicating it out there. So it's already tested. That's a lot different than trying to write original content and have that pressure of always coming up with original content. So when you mix original content with curated content, that's what gives you the type of traffic, and it also positions your business, yourself, as the authority in what your website's about.
So what we're saying is that, all right, so in order to capture people's attention with your website, you want to be able to post frequently.
Frequently, at least 4 times a week is really a good pace to have, and that's really hard for somebody to do original content and write really well 4 times a week. So because doing curated helps.
Right. So what you're saying is that the trick is to be able to find the content to stay relevant, so that people can come to your site and see that, oh, wait a minute, this guy is halfway smart. He's talking about this very interesting thing. But to have that kind of steady content, I mean, you have to think all the time about this original crap that you have to write.
And if you have, you have many clients, you can see how that can get kind of interesting.
It can get very gnarly. That's why you're a Spider-Man. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
You have all over the place. So, so now you find all of these articles that somebody else published.
Yes.
Somebody else already done this work for you. And so what you do with curation, so that I understand, is that you take part of these articles and you talk about them. You say, all right, this person talked about this, and that. I think this is relevant because of this. So instead of writing, a 500-word article, then you just write maybe a paragraph or something.
A paragraph or so will generally do it.
Yeah. And you direct those people to that particular article. And that's what curation is all about.
That's right. Some businesses will license content, and that's kind of on the expensive side, like Dell Corporation or big companies will license content, which means you can take the whole article that somebody else did and put it on your site that's licensed. But you really don't get any search engine optimization points for that. It goes back to the original. But when you write that little piece of original content and you mix it in with some curated content and you link back to the original content, you're actually helping them. So there was, there's 50,
makes sense.
Well over 50 visitors that went to the Phoenix Business Journal to read the original article.
Yeah.
So I actually helped them when I curated that.
Of course.
And then you can find some fun stuff. Like I had a video production company that I was doing some curation work for.
Not our video.
No, well, maybe one of these days.
No, you got. Well, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. That was to help each other out, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there were some techniques on shooting video, and it was a video production company back in the Midwest, and I found a video they had done that was a bunch of kids skiing in an old burned out buildings in downtown Detroit. They were skiing out windows, downstairs, banking off of walls, down in the snow. It was crazy. But the article written about the techniques of the video production actually related to my client here in Scottsdale. So I posted that on his site here, and even though it's back in Detroit and it's back in the Midwest, it actually helped them get traffic as well, but it got my client traffic with the overview piece I wrote about the techniques that were used in that video. So that's another example of how curation can drive traffic from social media.
Mike Spiderman Kristansen is here with us. Exactly. And so explain to me. This is a myth, and this is my pet peeve. I get so many people that tell me, I can get you on the front page of Google. I'm like, the front page of, I get like 20,000 people telling me that I'm going to be on the front page of Google, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking, what do they know that I don't know? And by the way, the first page of Google, it's only this page, so there's only so many people that can fit here.
Right. Well, a lot of times they'll use
demystify that for me.
One of the techniques those people use is they'll take a keyword phrase and they'll write that and pound away at it. But that keyword phrase has no competition. It basically doesn't drive traffic. So they can make you number one on that. They make you
for how long?
All day. Well, for quite a while at least, until somebody else figures that and starts using the same keyword phrase. But if it's not popular, people aren't even looking for it, it's pretty easy to get something like that on the first page of Google. And that's a lot of times how they can guarantee getting you on the first page. The only people that can guarantee you the first page of Google is Google. I mean, that's pretty much it. And I think you have to pay them pretty much to be on the first page. So
do you have to?
That's basically
it. And so, and for that, does it help to be on Google Plus? Because nobody wants to be on Google Plus. Everybody's like, nah. Facebook, Twitter. Did you post on Google Plus? Nah.
Did you remember there was Google Buzz before there was Google Plus?
I have no idea what Google Buzz is.
They tried to do another social media. It was called Google Buzz, and that didn't work. And
that's why I don't know about it.
And so what they call it today with Google Plus is deprecation. They're going to deprecate it, which means it's going away.
All right.
They're slowly moving away from Google Plus.
Yeah.
They were trying to force people to use to get a Google account so that they can have YouTube and everything, and trying to integrate it all. And it's just not quite working that way. So now they're chopping it up. Now they call themselves the Alphabet, right? That's, I think the new name is the Alphabet Company, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's just a way to manage their winners and losers, the way I look at it. So
how do you get started in all this crap? I mean, did you just wake up one day and go, I think I'm going to syndicate and curate?
No, that comes around from observation and watching
trial and error.
And I really didn't think it was the way to go, because to me, pure SEO, you don't want a bunch of outbound links on your website, sending people elsewhere, send them away. But in reality is, if you're rubbing your elbows with high value content done by others that are right on your site,
Yeah.
you become the center of where to go to find everything about a relevant
Yeah,
topic.
yeah, but how did you how did you find this out? I understand what you're saying, but how did you find this out? I mean, did you wake
It's
up
a
one
long
day?
story. No, it's
did you read
well,
one of those motivational
okay.
books that our other guest Sydney Adams was talking about, and then you wake up one morning and you're like, syndication, man. This is it. This is what I'm
I feel
gonna
like
do.
I go to college every day because I'm reading Search Engine Watch, I'm reading Search Engine Land, I'm reading a lot of different research on that.
Is that what
stuff.
you read at night?
Yeah, I do read that stuff, and I always find it interesting in what's
All right.
going on because things are changing all the
Yeah,
time.
that's fine.
What
That's your
worked-
motivational
yeah,
thing. That's your educational
right.
thing.
Yeah, what worked last year doesn't work quite the same this year. So you have to ride the wave and stay on top of the wave.
Is that how fast this thing changes?
Oh yeah, yeah. it
So you
changes
have to
very
keep
fast.
up with all these
Yeah.
changes all the time.
What I find though is content is the thing. It is the thing that if you do quality content in the very first place and you stop gaming the systems of what the search engines are trying to do,
Yeah.
you're going to come out all right. You're going to come out all right.
Worry about the content first.
Worry about the content first.
Let the system take care of
Yeah.
itself.
And you don't have to be a brilliant writer yourself. But when you do write from the heart. Write what's inside, what you know about. Get that out there. Then surround you with other articles of other influential people that are writing great stuff that's relevant to what you do, and share it and comment on theirs. Now you have a whole network of articles that really fit. So it's a reason why people will come back. Why they'll come back again and again for your content.
Of all the different social media outlets, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, etc., is there one in particular that you would recommend a business owner that is just starting with their business? Is it a combination of things, or there's one that they should put their efforts in and like maybe have a phenomenal LinkedIn profile first to begin with and then move from there on? Or is there a technique to this?
Yeah, the two main ones I would say is LinkedIn and Facebook, of course. LinkedIn would be more business to business, and Facebook could be more consumer to business, business to consumer kind of thing, more Main Street. Whereas LinkedIn gets up to be a little bit more on the professional level of business to business.
How do people find?
I mean, there's a crossover of it all, but
So, all right, so it's all about content. How do people? If I didn't know about you, how would I go about finding you?
well, you may come across an article in a LinkedIn group that you happen to belong to, and then you find the article there, and you click on it because it's interesting. You want to read the rest, and you end up on my website. Then from my website, you might end up being offered some kind of free information that may collect your email and your name, so that I gain the permission to send you more content, more interesting stuff. And in all the high value content you give, you can intersperse an offer to whatever it is you do.
Do you take any days off, Mike?
Because
it sounds to me like
not really.
you're reading your you're reading your technical things,
Yeah.
and then you're in front of the computer the rest of the time.
Yes, or I'm on my stepper, or I get a little, because the computer can make you a little crazed, a little bit, and dazed. So getting up on your stepper and getting your blood going again a little bit, that
There you
does
go.
help. Then you can sit down and do another hour before you better get up again. So yeah. you have
One
to
last
do that.
thing. How about the subject line? That is truly very important. That's the teaser right there,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
That's what's going to get somebody to. Yeah, that sounds interesting. What the heck is behind this subject line?
Copywriters make a ton of money when they can draw interest and draw a crowd. Copywriters are worth every penny when you find a good one. I find that some of my stuff hits and other stuff needs a little bit of work, and you have to keep working at it. And so what you do is you use what's called A/B testing. You'll run one headline versus another and see which one's actually tracking better than the other. And so you can get some ideas where your audience is, where their head's at. Some of the things that are very tried and true when it comes to copywriting would be the top 10 lists, for instance. Writing a top 10 list, and that's how the
always
article
gets
is
people.
formed. Yeah, it always
Got
gets
it.
people like that. So
All
there's several, things like that. But I got into this whole thing over one thing, and that was my concept of what I felt about word of mouth. Is I was in the restaurant business decades ago, and I survived and was successful because of word of mouth. So the product was everything, making people happy, seeing that my servers could turn around a situation where maybe the husband and wife come in and they're not in the greatest spirits, they might be a little bit of tension going on.
Right.
But to teach my servers so that they can make them smiling going out the door and they're getting along very well. Does that makes sense, doesn't it?
That makes a
so
lot
word
of
of mouth.
sense.
The thing about online marketing, it's just word of mouth at light speed. It's just faster. So that's why I got into it.
You're a head of a marketing team, and you have a content writer and a graphic designer. Who do you pick first?
The content, they're both important though. That's really a 50-50, honestly, because you take the
You have to make a
You take the
choice.
graphics here, for instance. This is fantastic stuff that's around the office pile. It's just eye candy. And when people land on your site the first time, eye candy is important. You got to feel like, oh wow, and it's got to jive, it's got to fit.
We're picking teams. Who do you pick first?
I'm partial to content. If you're between graphics and
Yeah.
yeah. Content.
Me too. Think flies over here, man. Look, we're gonna give Spider-Man a nice office.
Oh, very nice.
Look at it. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
That's
I
a
love
caliber.
it. I love it. Who did the artwork on this?
This one was done by Angie Sequoia, who is a local artist.
Angie Sequoia?
Angie Sequoia, and he's got a mural down here at the office pile. My
Fantastic.
man, Spider-Man. I've learned maybe very little or maybe a lot today. But I am less confused. I can tell you that I'm less confused today about social media, about how to get in the Google pages and all that stuff. And I know what the difference now is between syndication and curation and defrication and whatever else that we talked about, man. You're the man.
Very good.
Spider-Man. We're out.